What's up, everybody? I hope you enjoyed that. That was cool. Shout out to Gio. He made that awesome intro like many years ago, and we never used it. And I was like, come on, that thing is cool. Let's use it.
I
So
forgot all
there
about
you go.
that. Yeah, that catches me off guard every time.
Very cool. Everybody, thanks for joining us. It's Omnibros Live Wednesday, Wednesday topic day. Where today we are going to probably upset some people. Honestly, I think this is going to be a topic that I think most people are probably going to side together on. Like, this is going to be that hard, but it's going to be a fun chat. We're going to be ranking all the Spider-Man related live action films.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. I am Gabe. And I love 90s comics, and I'm 100% natty. Joining me is the one and only, the great and powerful comics guide. This is Lou. Say what's up, everybody.
And I am what's up, everybody? And I am also 100% natty. Shocking, I know. I just love the fact that in the last, I think, like 6 months, Rich Piana has become more relevant than when he was alive through all these dumb memes that have been popping up with the poor guy.
That's how it happens sometimes, right?
Man, that's so crazy. You know who Rich Piana is, right? I've sent you a few of his.
Yeah. He's the big time bodybuilder, right?
Yeah. He unfortunately passed away a few years ago. I always liked his mindset because he never was like, no, I don't do steroids. When it's like, look at the guy.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I do steroids. I do all that stuff. And it's terrible for me, but I love doing it.
Well, these days they do it and it's all like 100% like doctor like approved, you know, like they do it and it's like they have a doctor that just monitors, you know, all their stats and all their vitals and all their whatever mabobs, you know.
Yeah.
And they just roll with it that way. But I mean, Chris Bum, who's the Mr. Universe, he did, you know, none of these guys never straight out really say it. I mean, a lot of these like kind of like influencer guys and stuff like that will say that, yeah, they're on gear, they, you know, they take whatever. But even like the big time guys, it's like there's no reason to do it if you're not going to be like Mr. Olympia, if you're not going to be that guy that's going for that competitive edge to get on stage at like Mr. Olympia or whatever, right? Because there's so many side effects, you know. So
yeah. I mean, just kind of for the sake of being transparent, once I start hitting my 40s and, you know, start getting into my 50s, I've thought about, well, maybe TRT would be the right move for me. It's testosterone replacement therapy,
right?
It's just kind of to balance you out. I'm not trying to get like fucking huge or anything like that. It would just be to keep my testosterone up because it just naturally drops after a while.
Yeah, I mean, that's a natural part that's already made in your body, right? So especially when you get to whatever age where you start developing low T, if you do, then that's just enough to kind of just keep you going, keep your body together, keep the gears turning, you know, that kind of stuff at that point. And that's a new thing. Like you see like Jeff Bezos and like that dude's ripped, and like that fool is 100% on like space age technology, like gear, you know.
Yeah. And it's always, so we know obviously movie stars that they don't say it, but it's pretty plain as day when you see somebody. And I love Hugh Jackman. There's no fucking way Hugh Jackman is getting in Wolverine shape like he was 20 years ago right now, unless he's on something.
I mean,
you know,
like TRT, I don't see as being like something as terrible as like tests or like legit, you know, like steroids, right? Yeah, trend or tests or any of that kind of stuff, right? But yeah, like TRT, that's just like getting like a blood transplant, basically, you know. But you know, it's if you're gonna be that competitive edge person and everybody else is doing it, you have to be a part of that. And that's the thing with the weightlifters and these bodybuilders, like you said, their mindset are like nobody else's.
Yeah.
I know what it takes to get to that kind of shape and that kind of like physique, and I don't have it. Like I don't have the lifestyle to do it.
Right.
Nor do I think I have the insane dedication and discipline
Mm-hmm.
to eat nothing but chicken and rice for like 6 months.
It's too much. It's just
And just like and eat until you throw up, because you have to put in those 6, 7, 8 meals a day. You have to do those 5,000 calories or whatever you're on, and just destroy yourself on a regular basis. Like I love destroying my body and all that. That's great, working out, destroying it. But just to get to that level, you're going twice a day, and those guys, once you get like sponsored, then but if you're working like a regular gig, or you have a family, that's gonna be rough. And I just don't have that in me.
At its height, Rich Piana, who we were just talking about, his heart just flat out gave out, and it was like enlarged from all the shit he was doing to it. But at his height, he was working out 8 hours a day. It was his job to work out, basically.
Yeah, I've ran into Jay Cutler a few times in town.
That dude is huge, even now.
He's a little. He's short though, but he's a monster. But that's the thing, is that like he's been so big. It's even with Ronnie Coleman. Like the whole time I saw him at Target, we were at the same Target.
Oh, you saw Ronnie
and he's
Coleman?
Just kind of like leaned over. He's kind of hunched a little bit,
Yeah. You've seen Ronnie Coleman in person?
No, I haven't seen him in person, but I've heard him on Joe Rogan. I've seen documentaries about him, stuff like that. And he's like, he broke his back.
His back
at the gym doing like rows or whatever he was doing, lap pull downs, whatever. He said he just finished his workout and then went to the doctors.
Yeah. Yeah, he's unfortunately he's all hunched over and stuff. Yeah, there's a great documentary about his life on Amazon Prime right now. It might be on Netflix, and it goes over for those. We'll get into the other stuff in a minute, guys. I promise. For those of you that have a passing interest in bodybuilding, look up Ronnie Coleman and look up the documentary about his life. It's a fascinating look at what it takes for somebody like Ronnie Coleman, who was a Mr. Olympia. It was like he was 8-time Mr. Olympia, and at his peak, he was untouchable. This is a guy that squatted 800 pounds on his back.
Well, he said he walked around at like, I think he said 1.5% body fat. That was his walking percentage.
A cop. And he was a cop.
Yeah. Can you imagine getting pulled over by Ronnie Coleman? Or you're like breaking into like a store or coming out of a broken store that you broke into and seeing like this massive monster cop. Yeah, you're gonna drop bricks.
Yeah, man. And now you see him. He was on Rogan a few years ago. Hunched over, his back is all fucked up from bad surgery.
Yeah, his entire spinal column is all like cages. Like his whole spinal column is just held together by metal like cages.
Man, still says it was worth it, but hey,
it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
You see comic book artists. They're staring at a blank white page all day long. Their eyes get shot. Their backs get shot. Being hunched over like that forever, baby. Lightweight, baby.
Lightweight.
If you can pick it up, it's lightweight.
That motherfucker is motivational. Okay, Ronnie Coleman is motivational as well.
I saw this thing where this guy's workout mix at the gym is like there's like a 12-hour loop on YouTube of just Ronnie Coleman going, "Yeah, baby."
Lightweight.
Yeah.
I like him. I like CT Fletcher. CT Fletcher is really, really cool. I don't know if you've seen his interview with Rogan, but you should. I'll send it to you after it's done. CT Fletcher is fucking awesome. He had a heart attack though a few years ago, and that's kind of slowed him down a lot now.
Yeah, it wrecks your body, dude. That's not sustainable forever, unfortunately. And you get that mindset of like, I don't care if I hurt, I just got to do it. That competitive edge where it's like, oh, I better be working out because Jay's working out, or Ronnie's working out, so Cutler better be working out. One of those things, no matter what.
I think there is something to be said about just that. That's just a special person in general. Like, you have to have that mindset of I am 100% dedicated to this and obsessed with it to the point I want to be that guy. Just this alone, and
I want to be the best or something.
Yeah. And more power to you. And then there's also there's an argument to be made for, some of the greats having a really unfortunately fucked up childhood where the father was like, no, you're going to do this. Look at Tiger Woods. His relationship with his father was not that great. His father was, you're playing golf and you're going to be playing golf all day this weekend or whatever it is. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Unfortunately, Michael Jackson's father, there's an argument there,
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, do you get...
Or even the Williams' father,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like King James is based on, or whatever that Will Smith movie was.
Yeah.
Mr. Tex in the chat says, amazingly, JR is 65 and in good shape. Speaking of John Romita Jr., he's well known for his awesome work on Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, he is.
So tonight is the ranking. Let me bring it up. We're going to do a ranking because those are always fun, and you guys seem to always enjoy that. So we'll make that roll. It's going to be a fun ranking of the Spider-Man movies.
Speaking of Spider-Man, though, where can we get Spider-Man comics, Gabe, before we move on to this?
That's another good one there. Hey, everybody, welcome into Omnibroslive. Gather around. Let me tell you the wonderful story of InStockTrades.com. That's right. InStockTrades.com. That's the sponsor of our lovely, wonderful show. They are the number one go-to spot for all your trade paperbacks, omnibuses, collected editions, hardcovers, graphic novels, whatever it is that you like. InStockTrades.com is the place to go to because you can get up to 50% off. Keep your eye out on other deals and other special discounts. Sometimes those discounts go up even higher, 80%, sometimes more maybe. So keep an eye out on that. Awesome, amazing packaging. Great customer service. The best prices anywhere. New books are released at 9 a.m. Pacific time on the Tuesdays. So check them out there. They give us a chance to give you guys a $50 gift card credit to one lucky person, and that's going to be next Monday's show. Coming up next week is our In Stock Trades $50 gift card giveaway. And all of that fun stuff is all thanks to InStockTrades.com, everybody.
Right on, right on.
Word. Sing the jingle, Gabe. No, thank you. Nobody wants that.
This Saturday, we'll be doing our Patreon show as well.
Yes, it is Patreons this weekend. Just real quick about the Patreon, everybody. Cool little chill hangout. We make it easy. We make it simple. There's basically one tier. It's $5. $5 a month. You get to hang out with us. Me and Lou do a gathering like this right here on StreamYard. It's not broadcast or anything like that. Where we hang out, you guys get to join us and hang out together. We call it the Omnibros After Dark Campfire. So we just sit around, hang out, talk. We've watched Suicide Squad together. We've watched the DC Dome presentations together. Usually it's once a month of a hangout, and we're going to be doing books of the month. We're going to do like a little bit of a book club. Where this Saturday for the Patreon people, if you want to join up. Me and Lou are going to be talking about the awesome Tom King Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow trade paperback.
Great. Such a great read.
I just got it. I haven't read it yet. I'm getting ready for the Patreon for that one. That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be cool stuff. Links down below, everybody, for the Patreon. So check us out there. Cool. With all that taken care of and out the way. How did I make this?
All right.
I always feel like the screen should be more us or more the screen than us.
There, that's better. There we go. Can you guys hear us? We're good?
Yeah, they can hear us.
Okay.
What up, people?
I think it's fine if we take us off. That's
yeah.
Fine. So I'm going to go ahead and make a statement here. I don't think there is a horrible, I'm choosing my words carefully, Spider-Man movie here. I don't think any Spider-Man movie is horrible. I said Spider-Man.
We'll be getting into it. So here's our list. So for people who don't know how this works, it's just a ranking system. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rankings here. Top ranking being God level, like
Yep.
hardcore, like this is like best of the best, and it goes down school grade style from A, B, C, D, and F. So we got all the movies here. This is all the live action Spider-Man films. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland. Okay, that's all in here. Spider-Verse is in here, and both Venom films.
I'm surprised at that one.
Yeah. When I pulled this up, I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. That's interesting.
I didn't think about it either, but it does count because it is in that Spider-Man universe, I guess.
Technically, I guess it is, but without Spider-Man ever showing up to everybody else. Okay. Let's see. All right, everybody in the chat. What movie do you want us to start with first? Just throw it in there, and I don't want to make the decision. You guys make the decision. Throw it in there. I'll take a look, and we'll just pick one randomly.
Yeah. Or we
everybody throw it in the chat. What movie do you want us to start off with first for the ranking?
Yeah, or we could just go in order when they were released. So however the chat feels like.
Let's do it that way then.
You want to do it that way?
Right. Yeah. So we're gonna go. Let's start off with the one true movie. Okay.
Man.
Right out the gate, good old everybody's order release. All right, everybody's on the right idea. Tobey Maguire. He was like 45 years old, playing Spider-Man. Kristen Dunst, homeboy Joe Manganiello is in here as well.
I forgot. Oh, that's right. He plays Flash.
He plays Flash
in a cameo.
Looks nothing like him. He's just like some regular old 90s kid in high school, like every other kid in my school. All right. Dude, for me, this is A, 100%. At least.
Okay. Hear me out.
Oh, here's where you go and you go break my heart and say that this movie touched you or something.
No. I promise it's not that bad. So, have you seen this recently? The first Spider-Man movie?
I get where you're going with this. No, it's not that great. Okay. But with it being the first one out of the gate, this is like the Batman 89, where it's not that great of a movie, but it's the greatest Batman movie of all time, right? Because of nostalgia, because of what that movie meant going forward. Because before that, everybody was talking about Batman was just Batman 66. Switch over to Spider-Man. Same thing. Spider-Man's for kids. Spider-Man just for this. This is we've had like a really cheap a series of really kind of low budget Spider-Man movies in like the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
Had a handful of cartoon series. And really that's it. We never really got much live action Spider-Man before. And this is what kind of set things off for Marvel films and comic book films in general.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's all those points. I hear you loud and clear. I saw this movie last year. I don't think certain parts of it hold up as well. But you also have to take it in the context of when this film came out.
That's right.
When this came out, this was it, baby.
Oh, yeah.
You had this, Blade, The Crow,
X-Men.
Was this before or after X-Men?
This is before after X-Men. X-Men was first. X-Men is the real movie that basically kind of kicked everything in high gear for comic book movies.
X-Men was like 2001, 2000, something like that. Which that is.
It was like 99, 2000. It must have been 2000, I think.
Right. Say what you want about Bryan Singer. And we should actually do an X-Men movie ranking sometime soon too. Those movies are still good. For the Bryan Singer ones are genuinely really good, with the exception of I think one. This, I'd say B. For me, it's probably a B, simply because I think some of the dialogue is a little bit hokey. I'm not that crazy about the Power Ranger Green Goblin suit. I'm not crazy about it. They do it better, I would argue, in a movie we'll talk about later. I think this is a B. It's a B more so for its impact and what it gave us, because this was, look, I was jonesing walking out of the movie theater from this thing. I still remember sitting in the back seat of my car, and I was just as giddy as all can be after walking out of that theater. Like, holy crap! My father got me a bootleg VHS copy of this movie. That's how much I loved it, and I ran that tape into the ground.
Oh yeah, I was a manager of a movie theater when this was out.
Right.
And I remember, like, because back then, like, you know, they would, we knew that, okay, this is gonna be the last day this movie's gonna be in theaters, right? And I remember, and I was like, I got to see Spider-Man one more. I must have seen Spider-Man probably like 4 times in the theater, if not more,
Yeah.
being a manager at the theater, right?
Yeah.
But I was like, I got to see it one last time on the big screen before they take it down. I remember seeing it that last time.
Have you seen the test footage of the original Green Goblin suit that they wanted to use?
You mean a really awesome, creepy looking one? Yeah.
Yes, that looks more comic accurate.
Dude, I think it was crazy. They should have gone with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you said, the whole Power Ranger thing. Like there's that part where it's Green Goblin and Spider-Man on top of the rooftop talking, and it just looks like kids playing with their toys.
It doesn't look good. Yeah,
No.
It really doesn't look good. There's always going to be a bit of nostalgia in this for me. There's a part of me that's always going to love this film no matter what, simply because it just takes me back to those memories as a kid. And when my daughter, who's now just a few months old, is older, we're going to sit down and probably watch this. I'm going to go.
All right, chat. A or B?
Yeah, we're going to have to leave this one up to the chat.
We don't have a third person here to break it like we usually do.
Let's see what we got so far. We're seeing a lot of A's.
Going
A. B. I think it's going to go A, man.
Tasty melon. You got no. Tasteless melon. Tasteless melon. All right. So, boom shakalaka. A for good old Tobey Maguire.
A. It's going to be A, man.
100%.
Yeah.
All right. Very kind of reminiscent movie, since we got some of these characters recently in the film. But Spider-Man 2. What do you think about Spider-Man 2, Lou?
See, I love this movie. I absolutely love this movie. I would give it the God tier if there wasn't one other Spider-Man movie on this list that I think deserves it more. So I'm going to say A, simply for Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, which is fucking spot on. It's perfect. He is Doc Ock. I'm so glad they brought him back for a future film. And he, to me, is the reason to really keep coming back and watching this film. This is definitely this is an upgrade in the same way that the Dark Knight is an upgrade from Batman Begins, where you've got a director he's got a bigger budget. He obviously loves the source material. He gets it, and he's now got one film under his belt, so he understands what he's doing more now. The train sequence is still incredibly badass. I saw, again, I did a little marathon of these films last year, and the train sequence holds up so fucking well. Oh, yeah. It's insane. The scene where Doc Ock is getting his arms surgically removed is straight up Sam Raimi horror. It is a very still effective, frightening horror scene. I remember seeing this in the theater and being freaked out.
Yeah, I remember. I love the Sam Raimi-esque stuff that he throws into these things, like the girls running towards the camera, the kind of arms shooting off and stuff like that. Yeah. Really cool horror stuff that he tries to still install into these movies.
Yeah, the only complaint I have across all three of these films is literally the only complaint I have. And you know me, I'm usually not one to call this out, because usually I don't give a shit about this. I do think Mary Jane is just there to be a damsel in distress across all three films, and they don't do much. I really do. I don't think they do much with it.
I'm going to disagree. Okay,
fair.
And I was going to say, the thing about these movies for me. It's similar, but Kristen Dunst and Tobey Maguire have like no chemistry. Like these
Really?
dude, they each just hate each other or something. Like their pheromones just don't mix or something, but they just don't. I don't buy that they like each other,
Right.
you know, that much. So yeah, I'm gonna put this at A.
Yeah, no, absolutely A. But for me, it's yeah.
This is one of those movies where it's like they did it. They did a great first one, and they didn't screw up the second one.
They knocked it out of the park with the
Yeah.
second. It was
It's
so good.
it's one of the few movies where you can arguably say that it's better than the original.
Yeah. Yeah, you expand on the previous relationships. The relationship between Harry and Peter is expanded a lot more because really, these three films are just the story of friends and friends ultimately falling apart and what ends up happening to them when you look at them. That's really what's at the core of I think these three films. But God, dude, the train sequence alone in this is one of those sequences that I think, yeah, we get a lot of those big budget special effects movies and stuff like that, and it's still just good old fashioned superheroics, and it still kicks ass.
No, it's great stuff. I mean, just they let. I think it's better because they let Raimi they probably like, you know, loosen up the leash on him a little bit after the first movie being so successful because they did so much great stuff in here, like the kind of just walking effect of Dr. Octopus. You know, they got that really down cool pack where he's like he's not doing anything, he just kind of sits there. And his arms do everything, you know, like he could be just making tea or whatever, and his arms do everything. And the way they climb down like the side of the buildings, and they're throwing chunks of the building at each other and stuff like that. I think they did a really good job at all of that stuff. And it's just for back then, that was like crazy graphics. Like, how can you do that? Like a lot of that was still.
It still looks good.
Yeah, a lot of it was still like practical too, as well.
Yeah, no, it still looks good. I had the 4K set, and you know, a lot of times when you start looking at those older films, they use CGI, especially in the 2000s, where they were going a little crazy for it. It looks a little rough, and the 4K kind of starts revealing some of those edges, and this still looks great.
So what were you thinking? God tier A?
Yeah, well, let's give it the God tier. I think this one kind of deserves it. If there is
there's no disagreement, 100%.
Yeah, I think
it's better than the first one. So why would it not be a God tier?
And this thing fucking killed it at the box office, didn't it? Like it cleaned up.
Probably.
Huh.
See what's box office mojo have to say. It had to have been a huge. No, probably did better than Shazam did. Let's see.
Oh, that poor movie. The director says he's done doing superhero movies. I don't blame him. He's like, I'm not fucking doing this shit anymore.
What other ones did he do? Did he do just the first one?
He did the first one. And that was it. And this one.
Domestic opening was 88 million.
This is 2004?
2004.
Okay. God, I still remember that. That's great. That's really good. It went on to gross a lot.
That was the opening. Yeah, it did almost $1 billion worldwide.
Which in 2004, that is a huge nut. That is insane.
Yeah, 337 million domestically. Which is, for 2004, that's like big time money, dude. On a $200 million budget. Not bad.
Not bad at all. I was 14. Not bad at all. Yeah, I was about 14. Jesus. Oh my God, that movie is almost 20 years old. Holy shit. Oh my God.
Welcome to life, my brother.
Oh my God, that Spider-Man movie is almost 20 years old.
You got a kid, dude. It's going to go even faster, dude.
Oh, it is. It really is, man. Mm-hmm. We just had the 4-month checkup today, and I'm like, God, you're 4 months old.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you're going to be like, oh, God, it's your first day of school.
No, don't say that. I'm not ready. I'm not there yet, man. Spider-Man 3. Arguably.
All right. Speaking of things falling apart.
Oh, man. Okay, Spider-Man 3. Not arguably, probably the weakest one of the three, right? We can agree with that?
Oh, I don't think, there's no way that anybody can say that this is not like a complete whiff.
Okay. This was the movie that. Okay, so the thing is with Spider-Man 3 is it's a mess from the production standpoint. There was so much shit that was going on behind the scenes with this film, between studio interference, between Sam Raimi wanting more time to develop the movie, that it's a miracle that this even got done as competent as it is. Sam Raimi wanted the Vulture in this movie. And that I don't want Venom. He didn't want Venom in the movie because Sam Raimi's not a fan of the more modern day villains. He prefers the old classic villains. I'm like, all right, dude, yes. So he wanted to have Vulture as the villain in this. And I think there was rumors of it was supposed to be John Malkovich at one point, that he was supposed to be the Vulture for this movie.
That'd have been great.
Yeah, that fell apart. So much behind the scenes stuff. This is just a movie of the biggest flaw of this movie is that I think the relationship between Peter and Harry still works, and you get the conclusion of it. Sandman is really good because that's obviously the villain that Sam Raimi wanted to have in it. It's a classic villain. And everything involving Venom is pretty much a whiff.
It was very shoehorned in.
Yes.
Like you could see where it's like, oh, they could just cut all that stuff out and it'd still be a decent movie.
You can cut out almost everything involving Venom and you've still got a solid, probably about an hour and 40-minute movie. I mean, you'd obviously have to change a few things, such as the train fight sequence underground because he's wearing the black suit. But you can cut out a lot of that Venom stuff and it would still be a solid movie. Or you just introduce the symbiote here, and then that comes into play later. But it's very apparent that this isn't the movie. Sam Raimi, I think, has even said now, this isn't the movie I wanted to make, which is a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it shows in the quality of it all. You could see that it was so many things were just smushed in, and it wasn't all his hands, and there's so many other like chefs in the kitchen kind of thing, whatever analogy you want to use. And it was just in there so blatantly, like it was just it was a movie by committee, and you could tell and you could feel it when you watch it.
Yeah,
I was so pumped for Venom too. Like I was so excited for Venom.
Dude, I went to the midnight showing. I went to the midnight showing of this, and it was a school night for me, and I remember walking out going, ugh.
I was at San Diego Comic-Con when they first showed the trailer. Or it wasn't even like, it was a trailer, and then at the very end was the first like glimpse we got of Venom, and they never showed it outside of Comic-Con. So I was there for that, and then I also ran into Topher Grace on the streets. That sounds like I got into a gang fight, but I ran into him in the across the streets there from the convention. I talked to him for a second too, so I was super pumped. Like they made it seem like it was gonna be great. Like it looked really cool. They were all up there talking about it and all this stuff, and then you go to the movie and you see it, and you're like, oh, this is just
they missed
not fun. And then there's the dance sequence that nobody likes, and then there's just a really bad acting involved with it, and the stories aren't going anywhere. And I don't know which way to kind of follow, because we got to follow the Sandman story, and we got to follow the Venom story, we got to follow this story, and we got to follow that, and then it's just so much going on. And then that was it.
Yeah, remember, I completely forgot Gwen Stacy in this. Remember?
For like a brief moment.
Yeah, there's the crane scene where he rescues her, and then the kiss and stuff like that. Gwen Stacy, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who she has now come into her own as a fucking great director.
Oh, she did some great episodes of Mandalorian and stuff.
She's done arguably the best episodes of Mandalorian, so she is a great director. I'm excited for anytime she's on a project. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna watch that. This it's just overstuffed. Honestly, it's overstuffed, and it's just overstuffed with stuff that I don't think necessarily works. I think the ending fight with Venom and Sandman, pretty cool for the most part. I don't know, man. I just remember walking out of this.
Well, you got to realize who Sam Raimi brought back into the movie and who he didn't bring back.
Yeah. I just remember walking out of the theater. It was probably like about 3 a.m. I had school a few hours later, and I just remember just going, fuck. Because this is the first movie that I was, because after Spider-Man 2, I was obsessed with figuring out every little detail about the movie and like what's going to happen and all the behind the scenes photos and stuff like that. I used to go on, this website is down now, comingsoon.net or counting down. It was it was countingdown.net or .com or something like that, where it was just a movie forum website, and I would talk with people on forums like, yo, this movie's going to be amazing. And oh my God, it wasn't. It was so disappointing.
Yeah, it was sad.
D, it's not a train wreck, but I think I was just riding the high off of that second one. Like, holy shit. And
Oh yeah. You gotta go home after that,
Yeah.
And it always seems to be the thing. The first two get pretty good, and then the third one's garbage.
They just can't land it. They can't stick the landing, man.
And I don't know what it is at that point. After the second successful one, that's when the studio wants to jump in and start like taking control and doing rewrites and reshoots and all that stuff.
That's not always the case. We've got a 4th John Wick movie that comes out this week, and I hear it is the best one of the 4.
Which is interesting because the third one, I didn't watch it in a while, but I remember not liking the third one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the third one.
That was the one with what's her face? What, Ruby Rose or whatever?
That's the second one. No,
that's the second one. Maybe it's the second one I didn't like. Then I'm going to watch these again.
Yeah, because I'm doing a rewatch right now because I am so fucking excited to go see John Wick this week.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it or anything like that. All I've heard though is just like you said, it's just phenomenal. Like it's like the greatest one. Well, anyways, let's do. Now we're gonna get into not Tobey Maguire, excuse me, Andrew Garfield era. So the first one, Amazing Spider-Man.
C.
I'm trying to remember this a little bit more.
Goomba Lizard.
Yeah.
C for me.
Yeah, no, because the whole thing with the lizard and the whole kind of like stupid antidote, I was like, oh, we just had the antidote the whole time.
It was yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
It took me a minute to remember this movie. I haven't seen it in a while. I've been avoiding him. I love Andrew Garfield. Like I am that guy that thinks like he's like the best like Spider-Man that we got. Like he's very John Romita Sr. Spider-Man. Like he's a good-looking guy Spider-Man. And the girl that played Gwen Stacy, the whole movies were Gwen Stacy, which is really cool to see. Is that they just made it to that Gwen Stacy relationship,
right?
But it kind of just lacked heart, or it's just like they were just trying so hard, and I remember watching. I wanted it to be good, and they're trying so hard, and it just wasn't reaching the bar. It just wasn't happening. Everything was there, like on paper, and I'm sure whatever like spreadsheet formula Sony uses for making movies says this is going to be a winner. It just didn't land. It landed with just a thud. Like it landed and sprained an ankle.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think so. Here's the thing about these two movies. I think they actually have the best web slinging in terms of how it looks and stuff like that of all the films. I will argue that it looks the best. I love the way that the suit kind of flutters in the wind when he's swinging, and you could kind of see small details like that.
Yeah.
I
hated the suit, like that long like spider thing. Didn't like it.
The suit is vastly different in the first film. I like the suit better in the second film because it's a little bit more. It looks more comic accurate. I don't hate Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I think he would be a great fucking Spider-Man, as it's been shown in a movie we'll talk about soon. I think that the problems with this is this feels like another one of those they didn't learn from Spider-Man 3, and it feels like this was done by the studio. And it's not a bad I don't think it's a bad movie. I
Who
just
was
think
the
it's
director on this movie?
I think it was Mark Webb, I think was his name. I don't think this is a bad movie. I think it's just okay. Peter's a
It's
little
just
bit Peter Parker's a little bit off from the Peter Parker that I like. He's kind of more Peter Stalker in this. I think Gwen Stacy, I forgot her name. What's the actress's name?
um,
Easy A, Birdman. Fuck, she was in
super
Superbad.
bad. Yeah, I know her from Super Bad.
Oh, I can't remember her name right now.
Cruella. She played Cruella.
She was great in that.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone. I don't like her as Gwen Stacy. So there's that.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's not, again, this isn't a bad film. It's just an okay movie at the end of the day. It's like, yeah, I can see where there's good stuff here, but it's like if I'm watching it, if I'm doing a Spider-Man rewatch and I get to this point, I'm like, I'm gonna watch it, but I'm probably just gonna half watch it. You know, I'll be checking my phone. It's one of those where I'm like, yeah, I'm checking my phone, I'm cooking something for dinner, and then I pop in and I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good action sequence, and I pop back out.
All right, so with that one, then we got Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just, I didn't know that they just, I don't know what it is. They just didn't learn their lessons on the second one or on that first one.
I do not like this movie at all. F.
I'm not going to disagree because Electro in this movie is horrendous.
Horrible.
It's just this really bad, like stereotype weird thing where he falls into like a vat of eels and it straightens his teeth and makes him cool and good looking and gives him powers. Like none of this stuff is like, it's like they were, I don't know, was they were trying to make it for kids? You know, did they realize that that this is also something that like adults watch too? It just wasn't doing it. Just wasn't doing it. Yeah, it crashed the franchise. Like that was like after that, Sony just gave up.
This movie was so bad that Sony said, "Yeah, we don't know what we're." Like you said, it tanked the franchise to the point where the box office was starting to hurt, and they eventually were like, "Marvel, please take this character. We will lease him out to you. Please reinvigorate this character because we're starting to lose money on this franchise. It's too long, way too fucking long. It's got way too much going on, and we've got a crackhead Green Goblin. Remember that?"
Crackhead Green Goblin?
Green Goblin is in this.
No,
you don't remember Green Goblin is in this towards the end. Rhino is in the beginning of this.
No, Rhino was at the very end.
Rhino's in the beginning of this too, I think.
The big fight with him and Rhino is like the very last thing because he's throwing the sewer lid at the screen or at the camera, and then that stops, and then it's credits.
That's Paul Giamatti. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that happens at the end. Oh god.
I mean, it made $700 million worldwide.
Yeah, you forgot Green Goblin is in this, and he's in the final fight. This is slightly, and I'm using this term very loosely, redeemed by the arc that Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker has in No Way Home. And I thought slightly this movie is redeemed because the fallout of this works so well in No Way Home that it made me go, I want to see that film. I want to see Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, where he stopped pulling his punches and now he's got to redeem himself in his own universe and what that's like and how he's got to clean up his own life, basically.
Yeah. That's the one thing I liked about this movie was that they killed Gwen Stacy.
And they don't shy away from it. It is
Dude, I was like, they did it. There was no like, oh no, maybe he him pulling her too hard with the web is what snapped her neck, or whatever. No way, she 100% bounced off the floor.
Yeah, dude, I remember watching this in the theater, and she hits the ground, and everybody in my theater went, "Oh!" Like there was an audible gasp at it because it's
slow-mo, and it shows her face and body bouncing off that floor.
Oh god, that was a tough one. It's too long. The relationship with Gwen Stacy, not that great. Have you seen the deleted scene? They were going to put this in where they were going to bring back Peter's father.
No.
Oh,
stupid.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Okay, so you could find this on YouTube. The scene is out on YouTube.
Dude, I'm not going to watch that.
So in this deleted scene that you can or cannot find on YouTube for Gabe's sake, you see Peter Parker, Andrew Garfield, standing at his father's gravestone, and his father shows up behind him, and apparently his father has faked his own death, and he was working for the government or something like that.
That sounds like the comic book. The comic books.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Crazy.
It doesn't work in the movie at all.
They're just they're doing some deep cuts, man.
Yeah. It didn't work at all, and there's a reason it was cut. Yeah, this did so bad that they were like, "Oh God."
Yeah, dude, they tapped out. They called Uncle. They were like, "Dude,
Yeah, let's be clear. If this was good, we wouldn't have a Spider-Man in the MCU right now, because technically, Spider-Man is being leased out to Marvel right now, and they could yank that fucker back.
They did for a minute. Remember that?
Well, there was talks that we wouldn't get
Tom Holland back for Infinity War.
Yeah, was it Infinity War?
Yeah,
because his contract was coming up or something like that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and there was a moment where it was done. No more. He even said, I feel bad. I'm not going to be able to play this character anymore or whatever." Yeah, they pulled the plug for a minute. And
then I'm sure Disney backed up that Brinks truck. It was like, how much do you want for
it's probably something like an extra 2%, which is probably ridiculous, but yeah.
Yeah, they backed up that. Marvel and Kevin Feige were like, yeah, let's just back up that Brinks truck. Let's
100%.
Let's keep the webhead here because we know that's going to sell tickets.
So yeah, speaking of Tom Holland and all that,
Infinity War. I remember. That's right. There was so for Infinity War, some behind the scenes stuff. There was apparently rumor going around that there were 2 scripts floating around for Infinity War, just in case. One with everything involving Spider-Man in it, and one with everything involving Spider-Man cut out.
Wow. I think you could probably watch that movie without Spider-Man and be all right.
Yeah, there's a few scenes, but yeah. All right, next one, man.
Speaking of Spider-Man, or Tom Holland Spider-Man. No, wait.
Is it? Or is it Venom?
What comes
I think Tom Holland is next.
Yeah, it has to be Homecoming, right? Or is it Into the Spider-Verse was afterwards. So yeah, it's Homecoming.
It's Homecoming.
All right, so it's Homecoming then. We get our Vulture in this movie.
It's a great debut for a new Spider-Man. Same B.
B?
B.
B? Come on. That whole reveal of who Mary Jane, whoever his dad was, or his date, wasn't Mary Jane, excuse me, his date. And it was Michael Keaton in the car.
Great. That's such a great.
Dude, that 100% makes that at least an A.
The amount of tension.
Oh, dude. It's like, does he know that he knows? Does he know he knows that he knows he knows?
And Michael Keaton just eating up the scenery in that moment, dude.
Without even saying anything, just driving him to prom. And it's just like, man. God.
Opening night, I was there. Mm-hmm. And you get to the scene where he's about to pick up MJ. Or it wasn't MJ.
No, but it wasn't MJ. Whoever that chick was.
Yeah. where he's about to pick up his prom date, opens the door, and it's fucking the Vulture that opens the door.
It all
Everybody in the
fits because he
theater.
talks about his daughter at the beginning of the
Oh,
movie
it
and
works
stuff,
so
right?
well. It really does work. So
But
everybody,
it kind of one of those things where they played like they made you feel almost racist, where you're like, oh, I didn't realize it because she's black.
it everybody in my theater just went
Yep.
like you just felt the
Yep.
air get sucked out of the room, dude.
And you
And
could
then there's
see Michael, yeah, and the whole car ride, you see him like
trying to piece it
piecing things
together.
together, and he's like, son of a bitch, this is Spider-Man taking my daughter.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, dude. It has to be at least A, if not God tier, dude. Because just that scene alone and everything else, like this is like the
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies couldn't do it. I don't even think really the Tobey Maguire movies did it. This movie made people Spider-Man fans.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you on this one. And I also think for me, I think he strikes the best balance of the two. He's got a real good balance of that quippiness that we know from Peter, where he's in the suit, he won't shut the fuck up, and he's annoying the villains and stuff like that. And he balances out kind of that nerdiness where he's not too nerdy or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's also the added advantage that Tom Holland is actually pretty close to the age of what a teenage Peter Parker should be. He's a little bit older, but he's pretty close.
He pulls it off. He looks,
yeah.
You know, it's not like, you know, like, I keep making Tobey Maguire jokes, but he was like literally like 30 years old trying to play like this, you know, 18-year-old kid or
High
whatever,
school.
right?
Yeah.
But Tom Holland, yeah, he might be 24, but he easily looks like he could just be like, you know, 17, 18, like no problem. It's not, it's not that much of a disbelief. Plus, he's got that, you know, he's got that. He's got the right attitude. Like he's all in. He does a lot of the stunts.
Yeah.
He's likable. Like, you know, he's perfect Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah,
I need to see him what comes up next, where he's not under like Iron Man's like thumb.
Right, and I think that's honestly the biggest. I think a little bit of a drawback for these three films is that he relies a little bit too much on the Iron Man tech, which I'm very happy for the end of Homecoming because it's. We're going to talk about Homecoming in a little bit. Not Homecoming, of No Way Home. Jesus, these home movies, I get them mixed up.
Yeah, they all got home in it, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're going to talk about No Way Home in a little bit. And I love the fact that they strip that all away and we get the Peter Parker that we know. The one that is like, all right, I've got a shitty studio apartment, don't really have any friends, don't have any backup. It's all on me.
I don't have a girl.
Yeah. Yep, it's all on me. Let's go. Yeah, no, it's A. This is such a good movie. Fuck, I might watch this tonight, actually.
That car scene, dude, I'm telling you, like,
I
remember watching it in the theater, and I was like, oh my God, like, I was so on the edge of my seat, you know?
Yeah, I've got the 4K of this. It's a beautiful disc. I might pop this in tonight after we're done here.
Watch, are you going to watch it? You're like, God damn it, man, Gabe was right. This is nuts.
All right, next one.
All righty. What came up next? Is it Venom? Is it Into the Spider-Verse?
I'm pretty sure that it was either Venom or Into the Spider-Verse. I can't remember. I think it was Venom, wasn't it?
Fuck it, let's just do Venom. Who cares? Let's make it simple.
Yeah, this movie was terrible. Nothing. This movie is the best mid 2000s Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
That isn't a Spider-Man movie. This movie goes with, like, you remember Ghost Rider and with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah. It's cornball. Yeah.
This feels like that. Like this just feels like we are done with these types of movies, and it seems like they just no, we're not done with that. We're just gonna go right back to that garbage that we were.
Yeah, it just shows that Sony can't do it right.
They just don't get it. I don't think they get it. I honestly don't.
I don't think they understand the characters, because this Eddie Brock, I loved the idea that he was like this like investigative reporter, like hard edge guy, and then they make him like a crybaby throughout the rest of the movie. You
Yeah.
know, so I don't think they got a good grasp on these characters. The whole like, you know, symbiotes coming from space, the whole like rushed CGI, the whole just
Yeah.
it just felt like a bland monster movie that was kind of just sitting in the drawer, and they just slapped Venom on top of it.
Yeah, this is terrible. This
Mhm.
this is almost nothing about this works. I love Tom Hardy. I think he's an amazing actor. This
But
is
especially like him like jumping in like the lobster like pool in the restaurant, like
Yeah.
just I don't know. I really hated how they treated Eddie Brock. Like I said, they made him like at first like this really cool investigative reporter, and then he was just like this whiny, just like annoying guy the rest of the movie.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You know, and the CGI is not that good. I mean, Venom looks cool. They put a lot of money into it. I like the look of Venom in this. There's not much really to say here. Just an overall disappointment, just altogether, honestly. Oh, just horrible.
Yeah, and it just continues with all the other movies that Sony does with this, like with different characters, like
Morbius.
That Craven movie comes out. That's I don't have any faith in Sony to do these
Adam
movies.
Webb that they're working on as well.
I might just watch it because that chick that plays there is really, really easy on the eyes. I'll probably see that overseeing that Craven.
I watched this thinking, I'm gonna give Venom a shot. You know, I keep hearing back things about it because I always say I've seen plenty of movies that get a bad rep and they're fucking awesome. Punisher Warzone, not exactly a critic loved movie. We fucking love Punisher Warzone.
Yeah,
that movie's so good.
Well, like John Wick, I remember everybody was like, John Wick, that's stupid. This guy gets all butthurt over his dog being killed, you know? And it's such a great one of the best action films, you know? What about Venom 2? I didn't even see it. I was just like, I wanted to. I was really kind of in the idea to watch it, and it just kept coming out of how like bad it was and how bad it was, and how it was like a 90-minute film. It's like a really short movie. I never saw it.
D. It's slightly. This is a D. It's slightly, and I mean this by the faintest amount of praise, better than the first one. Carnage is. This needed to be R. Let's call it what it is. You can't do a fucking Carnage story. You shouldn't do, first of all, Venom without doing it rated R. Like Lethal Protector should be a rated R story. Period. Carnage, even more so, should be a rated R movie. This was PG-13.
Yeah.
No.
Carnage is basically Freddy Krueger with the symbiote.
100%. You got Woody Harrelson. You've got a good actor. Woody Harrelson should have been a fucking terrifying Carnage. He's a great actor. No. This is again not good. CGI is not that good. The thing about this is it's an hour and a half. It gets in, it gets out, it tells the story. It doesn't overstay its welcome. And the small bits of Carnage that are in here, because Carnage isn't in surprisingly much of this, are good, but this needed to be rated R, honestly.
Yeah, you can't have this mass. You shouldn't be going around just slicing people up and killing people and stuff like that. Like, again, I think they just got to just make movies. Like we got to do something with these licenses and just make movies.
Yeah, they changed his wig. I remember the wig in the after the credit scene in Venom.
And yeah, it was like that really like clown bread wig.
Oh god, that was terrible.
We're gonna get Carnage. All right, we're gonna get Carnage. And it's gonna be. I remember we just couldn't get over the stupid hair.
Yeah, no. I have faith because I think they are gonna head towards the symbiote stuff. They've hinted at it in the main MCU. I have faith that 10 years down the line or whatever, however far down the line, when they do the symbiote stuff in the MCU, they'll do it right. I'm hoping we will get Null, from Donny Cates' Venom run.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna so if you're gonna adapt anything involving Venom and you want to use the characters from the comics, you either do Lethal Protector, right? You do Maximum Carnage,
Yep.
or you do Donny Cates' run for Venom. For the most part.
They just do the Clone Saga.
You know, or you can even do, if you want to go Agent Venom with it, you know, that Rick Remender run, which was a lot of fun as well.
I love that run.
It's great. Rick Remender doesn't get enough love for it, but it's fun. It's really good. You see Flash, it's Flash Thompson, right? That he's back from the military.
Yeah.
Flash Thompson, he's back from the military. He's missing both his legs.
He's an addict.
He's an addict. And, you know, he gets picked up, I think it's by S.H.I.E.L.D. or some government agency. I forgot who it is. Is it Ross? It might be General Ross. It's been a long time since I've read it. And they basically go, okay, here's the deal. We're going to give you back your legs. You're going to be using the symbiote to do it, but you're going to have to go on Black Ops missions for us. And Flash goes, okay. Yeah.
And you can only have the suit on for like, what was it, like something like 24 hours? They really kind of locked it down.
Like that, or else the bond will be too great and we won't be able to strip it away from you.
Yeah.
It is such a great run that did not get the love it deserved when it was coming out.
Even like love in the terms of like collected editions. Like they're impossible to find. They're super out of print and expensive.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic series.
Yeah. Who wrote that? Oh, the
Agent Venom?
Yeah.
Those
Remender. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's Remender.
And Terry Moore did the art for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why every time I think about that book, I go right to like the Cullen Bunn stuff.
Fuck, I'm gonna read that tonight. Actually, there's a lot of shit now.
You got a lot of stuff to go. You got a lot going on, but let's get through these movies.
I'm trying to enjoy spring break. That's why I'm out for this week.
All right. So next one, we'll just go down the line here, I guess. Spider-Verse. Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
Is there a level higher than God's here? This is the best Spider-Man movie. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's not only the best Spider-Man movie, it's one of the best animated films of all time. It's in my top 5 of all time. Fuck, man. I don't think you can do a Spider-Man movie better than this for me. Like, Spider God's here. I don't think you can do it better.
No, I mean, we're going in this movie just because it looked cool as Miles Morales, right?
Right.
And I go in, you watch it, and it's like right out the gate, you're like, this movie is fucking incredible. Like,
yeah,
they got Miles Morales the idea of like a Puerto Rican black kid in the Bronx or wherever.
Right.
Like his whole style, his whole graffiti, his whole just attitude and his family life, or they speak English and they speak Spanish a little bit to each other back and forth. Everything about this movie is great. The fact that we get like Spider-Gwen and they start really tapping into all these other like spider characters. Like,
right.
I don't know how Sony can get this like so massively correct and everything else just kind of just like the Danny DeVito twin from Twins. It's all just like the leftover junky nasty stuff.
On paper, this movie should be a mess. It should not work on paper when you think about it. You've got a fucking cartoon character, Spider from a cartoon universe, interacting with all these guys who, yes, they are animated, but they're supposed to be, I guess, real life. This is a flat out cartoon character, and it works.
Yeah. And they made it where they explain to people who don't know what a multiverse is, how multiverses work, and it wasn't confusing. You're like, oh, okay, so yeah, great. You got this one. Okay, oh yeah, these are. Oh, you got one that's like a detective. Yeah, okay. So it's all just from different universes. That all makes sense. And then you got like one of like the most just empowering, just nasty creature of a Kingpin in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. No. This. Every character has an arc. All the arcs are a character starts somewhere, it ends somewhere else. I there's no such thing as a perfect. This to me is about as close to a perfect film as you can. The scene alone where he finally suits up for the first time, and it's Aunt May that builds the suit, and she's underground, and like Spider-Man's got the whole spider layer and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Fucking Spider Buggy is in this in the background. Like, you want to talk about a deep cut? Spider Buggy is in the
Spider Buggy.
background of this.
Yep.
That scene alone, I was like, fuck. Like, I was almost in tears in the theater. Every emotional beat hits when the Prowler dies, and it's revealed that it's his uncle. The relationship with his father, it's hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wasted scene in this movie.
No,
I don't think you can cut anything out of it.
No, it's so good that I'm curious with the one that's coming out this year, which it's probably it was John Wick 4 and this Across the Spider-Verse are my most anticipated films this year.
Yep.
I don't know how they're going to top this one for the Across the Spider-Verse. And Across the Spider-Verse looks fucking great, but I don't know how they're going to top it.
Raphael brings up a good point. He says, "What's up, Danger?" The soundtrack for this movie is it's awesome. It's like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Like, I don't know when the last time I cared about a soundtrack in a movie.
And as a sneakerhead, him wearing Jordan 1s with that Spider-Man suit and the hoodie, and there's Chicago's, I was like,
he even got his own. They put out like his own version too at one point, and I was like, I kind of wanted to get those, but those disappeared like super quick. But
they're about $800 right now on the.
I'm good. Don't even care. When they were like 120 or 160 when they were first coming out, I was like, yeah, maybe.
Oh my god, man! Yeah, this movie. Yeah, no, it doesn't get much better. Honestly, it doesn't. It's perfect.
Yeah. All right. Far From Home. We got a Mysterio for the first time.
I like this. Yeah, I like that.
We got a little bit more like Nick Fury.
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to say I don't think there's been a bad Spider-Man movie that we've gotten, so far.
I would agree with the A.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with the A.
The whole twist, dude. Okay, now I just things are coming back to me. The whole twist, like at the end where he reveals his identity, you're like, holy crap! Like, that's what I love is when they were doing things that were like legitimate like points in stories that is changing the dynamics of things. And I was like, oh great, everybody's gonna know who he is. And then of course they pulled the Civil War thing and they make everybody forget. But it's that type of excitement where it's like, oh, they revealed his identity and they did something different and they're really putting it on edge and stuff like that, right? And I was in for it at that point.
So this film, this one I really liked. I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. I love the fact that they even have me questioning because we go into it, we know, okay, Mysterio is obviously a villain.
Yeah.
He plays it up as a hero, and up until a certain point, they had me going, are they going to flip this kind of around? And Mysterio is...
Are they going to make him a babyface?
They sell it. No, they really sell it. I'm like, okay, maybe Mysterio isn't a bad guy in this. Like, they're kind of leaning towards it, and then they do the reveal, and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch! Of course he's a villain. Of course he's the villain.
Yeah. I mean, they did something more than I thought they were going to do. I would have always been like, you know what? He's just like this movie, he's like special effects master. But they took it the route of it being more of like a technology based thing. But I hate how they had to shoehorn him in with Iron Man.
The Iron Man,
the Iron Man connection just took me out. I was like, oh, come on, man. Really? Like everything has to be freaking tied into Iron Man with the Spider-Man kid?
Yeah. Yeah, the Iron Man thing, it's at this point where I think some of the fans are starting to go, come on, man, do we really, again, with the Iron Man shit? Because it wasn't just this film that they did the Iron Man tech has gone bad thing. That was basically the 3 Iron Man films before it. and a lot of that was Vision, that was Ultron, you know. So it's like the shtick is starting to get a little bit played out at this point. That's the only complaint I really have about this film. I think this film is great. I think it's a blast all the way through. It moves at a great pace. It's cool seeing Spider-Man outside of New York and dealing in another city and all that stuff. It deepens the relationship between MJ, Peter, and his friend, not Genki,
Ned,
and his friend Ned and stuff like that. And overall, yeah, no, couldn't have asked for a better sequel.
Genki, okay, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Dude, I think of him as Genki because that's really what he should be. Yeah, I think this is another one, another great one. You know, I don't think they've missed yet with Spider-Man.
Not with the MCU stuff. Not with whatsoever. Not whatsoever. And in general, I mean, like, that's, you know, we got one last one, and you know, it's the most recent one that just came out. And I know if it's again, it's the third movie, so they got to like get involved at the studio and stuff, and they kind of mixed it in with Doctor Strange and with Wonder Woman. Not Wonder Woman, excuse me, with Wanda. I liked it. I'm gonna go with the B on this one though.
The last one?
Yeah.
Respectfully, I will disagree.
Okay.
Respectfully, I will go pull it up a little bit. Let me see. I'm gonna go God tier.
You gonna go God tier for this?
I'm going God tier for this, brother. Just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I love this movie. I have now seen it more times than the other 3.
Oh no, wait, I'm an idiot. I was thinking of Multiverse of Madness for some reason.
Oh no.
That's why I was talking about Wanda and everything. I was like, wait a second.
No. I have seen this now more times than the other 3. I do think the impact of no, God tier. No, it's for me. It's not.
No, I agree with you though. I know what movie I was thinking of. Yeah, this is the one with all the characters coming back.
Yeah, it loses a little bit of that impact outside of the theater.
Because everybody revealed it. You know, it would have been a lot better, I think, if they were able to keep that under wraps somehow. But
unfortunately, they couldn't. That stuff
just leaned into it or something.
It was getting out so much that it was at the point where it was like, yeah, they're gonna be in it. Like, it's unavoidable because everybody's fucking talking about it.
Right.
This is a God tier. This movie, what it does is it recontextualizes the other 2 films, and it makes you realize all 3 of these films are one giant origin story for this character to get to the point where he is comic book Spider-Man.
Yeah, these are all prequels pretty much.
It's all prequels. Getting to the point where, we get to the end of this film, and, you know, again, spoilers, this is like a 2 or 3-year-old movie. Aunt May dies in a very powerful and heartbreaking scene. Aunt May gives him basically the great power, great responsibilities, you know, the whole spiel without really giving it to him. He doesn't have his friends anymore. He's again living in that shitty studio apartment. He's putting together his own suit now. He's not relying on the Iron Man stuff anymore. That makes me all the more excited for the next film when this comes out.
Yep.
The Goblin in this is horrifying. William Dafoe crushes it. More so than in the first Spider-Man film. He is genuinely fucking horrifying in that apartment scene.
Oh yeah. William Dafoe like redefined himself in this movie, or the Green Goblin character.
Yeah, no. Dude, that apartment scene where Peter comes out and his spider sense is kicking off, and he's like, "Something's not right. Something's going off. Something's going south." And then you see just William Dafoe, his face change, and you get that fucking smile, and you're like, "Oh no."
And again, it gets you. Oh yeah, maybe he is a good guy now.
Right.
Okay, you know?
Right. And then you get the most badass fucking Spider-Man fight where it's William Dafoe, Green Goblin fighting Tom Holland Spider-Man across a building, and Green Goblin power bombs power bombs Tom Holland through like 4 flights of 4 floors.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good, dude. This is such a good movie. And the cherry on top of it, obviously, is you're getting all these villains back across all these different, all the different dimensions and stuff like that. And about halfway through this movie, before they even do the big reveal, it becomes apparent to me that, like, there is no fucking way that they won't have Toby and Andrew pop into this now. They have to do it. Like, if they don't do it, the people are going to walk out of this theater and with the biggest blue balls and light this fucker on fire.
Oh yeah,
have to do it.
Even though it was spoiled so many times, when it did happen, it was breathtaking. It was amazing.
You get Andrew Garfield.
I was like, this is dumb. And the whole time they were like spoiling it, is getting leaked. I was like, no, dude, this is dumb. I don't want Tobey Maguire back. Like, come on. Like, really, we gotta get into this because I always get into that. Oh, here we go, multiverse. Now we're gonna get into time travel. Now we're gonna get into resurrections, and it's gonna ruin everything, right?
I'm done with the multiverse shit. I can't wait for I can't wait for the MCU to move on from this.
No, and we're just starting now with Kang. Like, come on, right?
I can't wait to move on.
Fucking weak T Kang in Ant-Man 3.
So you get Andrew Garfield for Ned is like, we're gonna try to bring Peter back. He's far away. We're trying to look for him. And Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and you instantly, I'm like, I recognize that suit. That's not Tom Holland's suit. Holy shit! They actually fucking did it. Andrew Garfield pops out, and he takes off the mask, and we get like that comedic moment. And I'm like, I'm gonna temper my expectations.
Yep.
Because it's still not the other one just yet. They might blink and we might not get them. And then they go, let's try it again. And I go, holy shit, they're doing it. Oh my God, I'm freaking out in the movie theater watching this. And then sure enough, you see it and you see Toby's silhouette and he walks through the portal. My theater lost their fucking mind, dude. It was like for a solid minute straight, you didn't hear the dialogue. Everybody was clapping. Everybody was
awesome.
Oh, dude, it was opening night. Everybody was clapping. Everybody was fucking cheering. They were so excited to have them back. I thought this would be a small blink and you miss it cameo at best. No, they're in it for like the last 30, 40 minutes of this movie, and they nail it. They absolutely nail it.
They all worked off of each other perfectly when they were in the lab together. Everything.
They fucking nail it. And the biggest thing about this, if I have to say anything, is they redeem Andrew Garfield's character. And you get a bit of a sense of where these guys are now, that they're a little bit older in their life. We find out Toby's Spider-Man. He's worked things out with MJ. Things seem kind of stable with him. He's the older one. He's like, you go through a lot of bad shit at the end of the day, but you gotta stay true to those principles, and things tend to work out for you.
You gave everybody closure. If you were a fan of those movies, you didn't get anything after the third one. They just stopped. Like there was no like, here's how this ends or anything like that. It's just like, well, maybe there will be a fourth one. Yeah, there's gonna be a fourth one. There's gonna be a fourth one. There's gonna be a fourth one. Nope, sorry. Now you got this Andrew Garfield kid. Oh wow, well they killed Gwen Stacy. Oh, okay. Oh, there's not gonna be a third one. So you kind of got closure with everything.
Right. And then they do the thing that I think is the most interesting is that they give you, we find out what Andrew Garfield Spider-Man has been going through. And he tells, like, I just stopped pulling my punches. I got so violent and, I went to a dark place. And once you start going there, you just can't come out of it. And they redeem him because it's not Tom Holland that saves MJ. It's Andrew Garfield that does the big save at the end that is similar to how Gwen Stacy died in his own film. And he catches her and he starts crying. Oh my God. God, this movie.
It's too much, dude. God. I know.
This movie's so good. And dude, we haven't even gotten into them bringing back the old villains, Alfred Molina.
Stepping back in. Redemption, Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's good in this.
Yes.
He's good in this. Alfred Molina, they close out his storyline where he's gotten control back of the arms and stuff like that. It's oh my God, this fucking movie is so good.
I mean, even some of the smaller characters, like Lizard showed back up, and they got that going a
Right.
little bit. Sandman shows up, you know.
So good, so good.
And again, it's one of those things where it's like I didn't realize this entire movie was going to be about the Spider-Man. It's like they're all going to be in it for like a good like third of the movie, you know.
Yeah.
If not more, if not almost half, right? So
this is the list. Here's a quick question though. You think they bring them back for Secret Wars?
bring what back for Secret Wars?
Toby and Andrew Garfield.
No.
You think this was a one and done?
I think it was a one and done. I want it to be a one and done because it's just it just kind of like thins out the magic.
I got you.
Yeah.
Do you feel the last thing that I'll say about this, and we can kind of move on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel there's a moment where Tobey Maguire gets stabbed by Green Goblin, and the whole theater just let out an audible gasp? Do you think they blinked? And because I thought he was dead, I'm like, okay, I'm comfortable if this is the way that this character is going to go out.
I don't want that to be true.
Okay.
I hate when they kill comic book characters in movies. It's not your characters to kill to me, you know, or even something like that. You know, like I don't think that wouldn't have gained anything. You know, I don't know because he already killed Aunt May, and that was like that was the big emotional hit. You know, it'd have been too dark.
Yeah. All right, but this is our list, man.
But the way that Tobey Maguire is apparently such a big dick, I don't think anybody would mind it. Whether actually killed that character.
It's kind of funny you mentioned that because I was watching a movie called Ollie's Game last night with my wife.
Have
you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard what an asshole he apparently was when he was playing poker?
Oh yeah, here he's like yeah.
Jeez.
He's a monster, dude. I've seen videos of him like yelling at paparazzi and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But, whatever. Things happen when you get in that kind of public. I can feel it, you know. All right. So everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Omnibros Live, which is sponsored by InStockTrades.com. Are you tired of paying full price for these omnibuses, collected editions, hardcovers, trade paperbacks, graphic novels? Well, you know what? I'm going to let you in on a secret. No, it's not a secret. I mean, you can tell other people. You know, not one of those kinds of secrets. It's InStockTrades.com, where you can get your books up to 50% off. There's a 2% loyalty discount that's added on top of all those great discounts. Meaning, if you make one order, your next order will, I'll put it this way. You make one order that unlocks a 2% extra discount on your next order. Free shipping on orders of $50 or more in the United States, saving you money that way as well. Awesome packaging, awesome customer service, awesome people all around. Make sure you check out InStockTrades.com. And then don't forget, next Monday, put it on your phone. Next Monday is the InStock Trades $50 gift card giveaway that we're going to give to one lucky person live on the air. And that's the coolest thing ever. We love doing that every month. So hit us up on Monday for that. Hit up InStockTrades.com. And that is that, everybody.
That is that.
Lou, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can find me at Comics Guy 101 on Twitter. Comics Guy 101 on YouTube is an archive of a bunch of old videos. And this Saturday, Gabe and I will be doing a Patreon show where we will be talking about all kinds of things, but more specifically, the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow storyline that will be the basis of what James Gunn will be using for the Supergirl movie in the new DCU universe. The
DCU.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it. Unplugged my headphones there. All right, everybody. So thanks again for showing up. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Tell your friends. And we're going to see everybody. Well, tomorrow is Manga Bros, so make sure all your manga needs. Everybody always talks to us about manga on Mondays during the previews.
Yeah.
Show up on Thursday. Show up tomorrow for Riley and Gio, and they usually have another person with them.
Yeah.
this is your spot for all your manga news and updates and
Yeah.
discussions and stuff like that. So hit that up there as well. But with all that said and done, we're out of here.
We're out of here.
Let's get going.
Good night, everyone.
You should have gone with that Bollywood Spider-Man on the list.
Damn.
Or Japanese Spider-Man.